I've already explained about production function. According to Joseph J. Stigler, production function is the relationship between inputs of productive services per unit of time and outputs of product per unit of time. So what do you mean by production function? It is the relationship between the inputs and the outputs. So in general, production function can be classified into two: the short run production function, which is illustrated by the law of variable proportions, and then we have the long run production function, which is explained through the law of returns to scale. So today we will be concentrating on the law of returns to scale. So law of returns to scale is for a long period. That's why it is called as the long run. And you know that during a long run, all the factors of production can be changed. We have four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and organization. So during the long period, all the factors can be changed. That is, all the inputs can be changed. So there is no fixed factor. In the long run, you do not have any fixed factors. All the factors are variable. This is up to you. If you want to have, you can have fixed factors also. But in general, all the factors are variable. So the laws of returns to scale explains the relationship between output and the scale of inputs in the long run when all the inputs are increased in the same proportion. That is, the inputs, whatever the inputs may be, the inputs must be increased in the same proportion. What do you mean by that? In the previous law of variable proportion, we saw that only one factor was variable, that is the labor. But here we are going to take two factors, two variable factors. That is, the two variable factors are labor and capital. So what do you mean by this? All the inputs are increased in the same proportion. So I said in this law, there are two variable factors. For convenience sake, we are taking only two variable factors. One is labor and the other one is capital. If labor is increased by one amount, by one unit, capital must also be increased by one unit. If the labor is increased by 2 units, capital must also be increased by 2 units. That's the meaning for this. The inputs are increased in the same proportion. Whatever variable factor may be, the variable factors must be increased in the same proportion. All economic laws are based on assumptions. So what are the assumptions here? All the factors of production are variable, but organization is fixed. That is the first assumption. So all the factors are going to be variable except organization. Organization is fixed. There is no change in the technology. Whatever technology we use, we are going to continue with that. There is no change in the technology. There is perfect competition in the market. This competition part we will be dealing in the 5th chapter. So now you just understand it in this way itself. There is perfect competition in the market. Okay, large number of buyers and sellers only will be seen in the perfect competition. Outputs or returns are measured in physical quantities. The outputs or the returns can be measured physically: 1, 2, 3, 100, 200, like that. You can measure the outputs or returns in physical quantities. So these are the assumptions. So first you have to write what do you mean by the law of returns to scale. Then you have to write the assumption. So in this law, there are three phases. In this law, there are three phases or three stages. What are they? The increasing returns to scale, the constant returns to scale, and the diminishing returns to scale. So in this law of returns to scale, we have three phases of returns to scale. First one is called as increasing returns to scale. What do you mean by increasing returns to scale? In this case, if all the inputs are increased by 1%, output increases by more than 1%. Suppose if you increase the labor and capital by 1 unit, the quantity increases by more than 1 unit. That is only called as increasing returns. Suppose I am investing 10 rupees, but I am getting 25 rupees. That means I am getting more. That is only called as increasing returns. Constant returns. In this case, all inputs are increased by 1%. All the inputs means here it is going to be labor and capital. I am increasing the labor and capital by 1%, but the output also increases exactly by 1%. I invest 10 rupees, I get 10 rupees. So that is called as constant returns to scale. The last one is called as diminishing returns to scale. In this case, if all the inputs are increased by 1%, output increases by less than 1%. I am increasing my inputs by 10 rupees, but my output return is only 6 rupees. That means it is diminishing returns to scale. So there are 3 phases of returns to scale. 1. Increasing returns to scale. 2. Constant returns to scale. And 3. Diminishing returns to scale. So let us go on to the diagram. Okay. Now look at this diagram. On the x-axis you have the labor marked, and on the y-axis you have the units of capital. X-axis labor units, y-axis units of capital. We have 4 isoquants here. 4 isoquants. Q1, Q3, Q6, Q8. These are the isoquants. In the previous chapter, we have studied as indifference curve, but here it is called as isoquants. I will be explaining about this isoquants also, but here you just try to understand it as isoquants. Isoquant 1, where the quantity is 1. This is isoquant 2, where the quantity is 3. In isoquant 3, the quantity is 6. In isoquant 4, the quantity is 8. So you have 4 isoquants here. So with this 4 isoquants, the units of labor is 1 for this isoquant. For the first one, the units of labor is 1 and the unit of capital is 1. For the second isoquant Q3, the units of labor is 2 and the units of capital is 2. For the third isoquant Q is equal to 6, the labor is 4 and the capital is 4. So what do you understand here? The increase is in the same proportion. There is a increase, but the increase is in the same proportion. In the long run, all the factors are variable. But what did we study here? In the long run, all the factors are variable, but all the inputs are increased in the same proportion. All the inputs are increased in the same proportion. This is very, very important. So here, when the labor is 1 unit, the capital is also 1. Labor 2, capital also 2. Labor 4, capital also 4. If the labor is 8, the capital is 8. That means the inputs are increased, but increased in the same proportion. The inputs are increased in the same proportion. Inputs ஜாஸ்தி ஆக்கிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும் 1, 2, 4, 8ன்னு. ஆனால் லேபருக்கு எவ்வளோ இன்க்ரீஸ் காட்டியிருக்கோமோ அதே இன்க்ரீஸ் தான் இங்கே கேபிட்டலுக்கும் காட்டியிருக்கேன் 1, 2, 4, 8. So coming to the point. So we have the points A, B, C, D. 4 points. Can you see in the graph? A, B, C, D. Now a movement from A to B. Now we are moving from A to B. I repeat, we are moving from A to B. So what happens when we are moving from A to B? The input has doubled. The input has doubled. Initially the input was 1. Now it has become 2. The units of capital was 1 and it has become 2. The input has doubled. But look at the output. Initially the output was Q1. But now the output is Q3. 1ல இருந்த quantity 3 ஆயிருக்கு. அப்ப quantity என்ன ஆயிருக்கு? Output என்ன ஆயிருக்கு? Triple ஆயிருக்கு. Input வந்து double ஆயிடுச்சு. அவுட்புட் வந்து என்ன ஆயிருக்கு? ட்ரிபிள் ஆயிருக்கு. ஒரு சைக்கிள் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்த இடத்துல இப்போ 3 சைக்கிள் பண்றாங்க. ஒரு லேபர் இருந்த இடத்துல 2 லேபர், ஒரு கேபிட்டல் இருந்த இடத்துல 2 கேபிட்டல். அப்போ இன்புட் டபுள் ஆயிடுச்சு, அவுட்புட் வந்து ட்ரிபிள் ஆயிருக்கு. இன்புட் வந்து டபுள் ஆயிடுச்சு, அவுட்புட் ட்ரிபிள் ஆயிருக்கு. This is called as increasing returns. So A to B is called as increasing returns. So how to calculate this? Quantity, if final quantity is 3, final quantity is 3, initial quantity is 1. So 3 minus 1 divided by initial quantity 1. The final quantity is 3, the initial quantity is 1. So how do you calculate the output? Final quantity minus initial quantity divided by initial quantity into 100. So final quantity is 3 minus initial quantity is 1 divided by initial quantity. So 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 divided by 1 is 2. 2 into 100 is 200. So the output is 200. So from A to B, the input is doubled, but the output has tripled. Now come to B, from B to C, from B to C. What has happened to the input 2? Initially it was 2, now it has become 4. So the input has doubled. Here also capital was 2 and now it is 4. So the input has doubled. Look at the output. Initially the output was 3 and now it is 6. 3 has become 6. So the output has also doubled. Output means quantity. The quantity has also doubled. Input has doubled and the output is also doubled. That means this place is called as constant returns to scale. This part is called as increasing returns to scale. This part is called as constant return to scale. Now look at this part, from C to D. We are moving from C to D. So the labor was 4 units and now it has become 8 units. The capital was 4 units and now it has become 8 units. So what has happened to the inputs? It has doubled. 2 மடங்கா இருக்கு. 4 லேபர் 8 ஆயிருக்கு. 4 capital 8 ஆயிருக்கு. So the input has doubled. When the input has doubled, let us see the quantity. What has happened to the quantity? Initially they were making 6. Quantity was 6. Now they have made only 8. There is not much difference in the quantity. 6 பண்ணிட்டு இருந்த இடத்துல 8 தான் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. ஆனால் லேபரையும் கேபிட்டலையும் 2 மடங்கு ஆக்கியிருக்காங்க. So here from C to D, the input has doubled, but the output has not doubled. It is less than that. So this is called as decreasing returns to scale. This is called as decreasing returns to scale. So how do you calculate that? Stages: A to B, B to C, C to D. So you have 3 stages. What are the 3 phases? First is called increasing returns to scale, constant returns to scale, decreasing returns to scale. From A to B you have increasing, from B to C you have constant, from C to D you have decreasing. So everywhere the input has doubled. 1 has become 2, it has doubled. 2 has become 4, it has doubled. 4 has become 8, it has doubled. So everywhere the input is 100%. The input is 100%. What about the output? How do you calculate the output? Already I told you here. Final quantity minus initial quantity divided by initial quantity. Final quantity A to B எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா final quantity 3. Initial quantity is 1. 3 minus 1 divided by 1 into 100 is equal to 200. இங்க எப்படி calculate பண்ணுவீங்க? Final quantity is 6. Final quantity is 6. So how will you calculate here? Final quantity is 6. What is the initial quantity? Initial quantity is 3. So 6 minus 3 divided by initial quantity is 3 into 100 into 100%. So what do you get? 3 minus 3, 6 minus 3 is 3 divided by 3 into 100. So what do you get? 3 by 3 will become 1. So 1 into 100, 100, 1 into 100, 100. So the input was 100 and the output is also 100. So it is constant returns. How will you calculate here? Final quantity is 8. Initial quantity is 6. Final quantity minus initial quantity by initial quantity into 100. So what is your 8? What is your output? 8 minus 6 is 2. 2 divided by 6 into 100. So how much is 2 divided by 6? You get 1. Here you get 3. So 1 by 3 into 100 will give you 33.33. Okay. Did you understand here? 1 by 3 into 100 means 100 divided by 3. What is 100 divided by 3? It is 33.33. So it means it is decreasing returns. Hope you understood this, girls. From A to B, it is increasing returns. Then from B to C, it is constant returns. From C to D, it is decreasing returns. So in this law of returns to scale, you have 3 phases of returns to scale. The increasing returns, the constant returns and decreasing returns. So if this question is asked, it will be asked only as a 5 marks question. It will be asked as a 5 marks question. Elucidate the law of returns to scale. Illustrate. Question number 37. Elucidate the law of returns to scale. Illustrate. If that question is asked, you have to start from here. You have to write the law, the assumption, the 3 phases. Then you have to draw the graph and the tabular column and give the explanation. In the diagram, the movement from A to B represents increasing returns to scale because between these 2 points, input is doubled but output has tripled. 100 has become 200. Okay, so it has input has been doubled but output has been tripled. Next, the law of constant returns to scale is implied by the movement from point B to C. These 2 points, between these 2 points, inputs have doubled and output has also doubled. Input from 2, it has become 4. 2 to 4, it has doubled. 3 has become 6, it has doubled. Initially, it was 1 to 2, double ஆயிருக்கு. பட் 1லேருந்து 3க்கு போயிருக்கு. அதான் அதை என்னன்னு சொல்கிறோம்? ட்ரிபிள்டுன்னு சொல்கிறோம். இங்கே பார்த்துட்டு 100, 200ன்னு யூஸ் கதே 1 இருந்தது என்ன ஆயிருக்கு? 3 ஆயிருக்கு. தட்ஸ் வை வி சே இன்புட் டபுள்ட் அவுட்புட் ட்ரிபிள்டு. இங்கே வந்து இன்புட் டபுள்ட் அவுட்புட் டபுள்டு. இங்கே வந்து இன்புட் டபுள்டு அவுட்புட் வந்து லெஸ் தென் டபுள். இட் ஹஸ் நாட் டபுள்ட். ஸோ decreasing returns to scale are denoted by the movement from the point C to D. Since doubling the factors from 4 units to 8 units, the factors, the units of factors were increased from 4 units to 8 units, but the production is only 33.33%. So this is called as decreasing returns to scale. Hope you understood this, girls. This is the answer for question number 37.